Today I have here a brand new release from GVM. This is the GVM DX 16 tripod with the VYEN DX Mark II on top. I guess that makes sense, or rhymes, DX and DX. This tripod is being currently sold at B&H for $249, and for the price and what you get here, I think it is a nice deal. So I'm gonna start with the tripod legs first here and leave the head for last. And this entire tripod here is made of aluminum, and the only thing plastic that you're gonna see here is the ABS plastic, by the way, these knobs here, which is actually a favorable thing for the winter or the cold days, because grabbing on metal here, like some C-stands that I have, it can get pretty cold and uncomfortable. So I don't mind it being plastic because it looks like it's heavy duty, plus ABS plastic is a very tough material. And it also comes with some reinforcement here on the bottom, but these are not expandable, so you can't expand the legs. It's gonna be this way here, but you can actually make the tripod taller. And a disclaimer, GVM has sent me this tripod for me to test it out, and my channel always needs content, so thank you GVM for sending me this unit here. All my words are my own. I'm not paid to say anything here, and this video is not sponsored by GVM. All I'm doing here is reviewing some gear for you guys. This tripod here also features rubber feet and a spike depending on what kind of terrain you're using this tripod here. And as you can see here, you can fully move up and down even with the feet installed here, but if you want to remove the feet, it's actually fully removable. But I must advise you that to remove this feet here, you're gonna need some muscle because it is actually very hard to take it out. I'm not the biggest guy on earth, but you know, I could actually remove without a lot of difficulty, but just so you know, it's a little bit difficult to take it out of here. I'm a full-time filmmaker since 1991, and every piece of gear that I review in this channel here, later on I'm going to be taking to the locations with real clients and paid jobs. I do corporate, commercial, industrial, medical, and weddings, and sometimes you don't have time to be fumbling around with things here. So this tripod here apparently is also designed for speed, because when you actually want to expand the legs here, all you have to do is to loosen these knobs and raise the tripod, and it expands immediately. To collapse the tripod, all you have to do is to pull this up, or you can also use your knees, and it's a lot faster and even more convenient. And on this plastic bag here, you have the instruction manual and also some Allen wrenches and some other plastic little things. It looks like they are cable holders, in which are actually attached on the bottom here, but I'm not going to be using this because when I actually collapse the tripod, they kind of get in the way, so I'm going to keep it on the bag here. The Allen wrenches that come supplied with this tripod here, you can actually adjust the tension here for regular maintenance, the top plate right here, and including the bottom feet right there. This is a personal preference, but you know, I'm not a big fan of actual ball mounts here. I usually prefer the telescopic column tripods, such as the one that I'm always using here. So if I'm shooting B-roll or shooting something that requires the tripod to go up and down, all I have to do is to actually turn the column, the thing goes right up and down. And this one here requires you to actually shorten the legs, so when you actually open this up, the legs are going to be too wide and everything. So this type of tripod, it seems like it is the preference of most people, but again, I'm a big fan of the telescopic tripod. But it seems like most manufacturers, they are making more of these tripods here with the ball mount instead of the telescopic column. I mean, those are expensive, by the way, but they should be making equally the telescopic column tripods or ball mount tripods like this. So if you're looking for a tripod on a budget for professional use, this is actually the tripod to get, because this tripod is heavy, which is ideal for windy situations, so your camera is always going to be secure, because the equipment that you have here, it can be a red camera or a little VYEN DX like this, or whatever equipment that it is, it costs you a lot of money to buy, so you want to actually have a tripod that you can actually trust its load here. So this tripod is not going anywhere, especially when you fully open the tripod, it gets very wide, so I actually trust tripods like this to actually have my cameras on top here. I'm not sure if GVM makes a carbon fiber version of this tripod here like other manufacturers do, but when they actually release the carbon fiber, I still prefer aluminum, again because of the weight. So everything that I carry here, from monitors, cameras, tripods, lighting, C-stands, everything here is heavy. So one more heavy thing for me here is not going to make a lot of difference. And this tripod here, like any other ball mount tripod, you're going to find the leveler on the back here to make sure the tripod is level. All you have to do is to look at the thing there, and then when it's level, you just tighten it down. To remove it, just unscrew this here, and you're going to find the 3/8 little thread like every other tripod has. So next I'm going to be showing you guys here the actual performance of this tripod head here. So panning left and right or tilting up and down is actually easy for most tripods, especially the ones that doesn't have a lot of friction on the actual fluid head here, like this one doesn't have. The difficult thing here is to actually match both movements when you are moving the tripod diagonally like this. So you have to match the same exact speed. So for the most professional panning, tilting, including the diagonal moves here, just like you do with your slider, because you gotta start slow and then you pick up the speed, and then at the end of the track you actually slow down. Same exact thing applies to tripods, any tripods for a professional move. So what you want to do is to kind of ramp up And then when you're done, close to done, just ramp it down. So the footage is gonna start with a nice, slow, picking up speed, and then when you actually reach point B, kind of gradually stop. Which is difficult to do right here because, again, there's not a lot of drag and tension on this actual fluid head here. So I think this head is particularly made for lighter cameras. I think the VYEN DX with this lens here is pretty much the limit of this tripod here. But I'm not saying this is the heaviest camera that you can put here. You can put any camera here. When you start a heavy camera here or a 70-200 lens, what's gonna happen is, even if you adjust the tripod back and forth here, it's not enough room to make the camera go all the way back to actually have the lens actually stay in place here. So what you want to do with a heavy camera or a heavy lens, you got to make sure you actually hold the handle here, and then you control. And then when you want to park the camera, whatever angle that is, just lightly lock here, which brings me to another thing. So when you actually unlock this tripod here, it does not jerk the camera at all. You're not going to have the little initial jerk here. So when you actually unlock this, and I'm assuming you're actually good with panning and tilting, so I'm going to unlock this right now. And the camera does not move, so you can actually make a move there. Let's say they're shooting a ceremony, the father is actually doing his sermon right there. So focus and lock the camera right there, leave it alone, and then when you actually want to follow him again, just to unlock this, and you continue with your panning, whatever. So this is a good thing here. So this tripod here, I find it to be excellent construction-wise. The only thing that's a major bummer here is the actual lack of extra tension on the fluid heads here, either the panning or the tilting. But I still recommend this tripod here for being very well constructed, and a lot of us here, we just need a tripod to actually act as a B camera here without anybody operating the camera, or even with you operating the camera. But keep in mind again that the fluid head here, it does the fluid moves, but it is kind of light. It's just like my Manfrotto tripod on the like 20% of its setting between the lightest and the hardest fluid here. I think that's the best way to describe how this head feels as far as fluidity goes. Another huge plus of this tripod here is because it features a Manfrotto shaped plate, because all my cameras, they use Manfrotto, and I am not changing the plates just because of a tripod. And if this tripod was not Manfrotto shaped plate, I wouldn't even bring it here to review. Forget about that. So to remove the camera here, you just release this thing here and the camera is out. Back here is effortless. You just dock the camera like this, let it drop. Make sure you tighten this knob here. This tripod comes with a large plate here, which allows you to actually control the center of gravity by sliding it back and forth here. And by the way, when you actually tilt the camera, if you forgot to press this button here, the camera is not going anywhere this way or this way. So I have my VYEN DX here, and I'm not worried about it because this thing will hold the camera just like any other nice tripod. So I have an 85mm lens here. I'm gonna push this thing forward all the way. I'm gonna lock it down here, and apparently the tripod still likes the way it is here. And the resistance here you're gonna find on the very end of the both sides here, like this. So the camera is gonna be wanting to come back, or he is gonna want to go down here. Most tripods here, these things that are made of plastic, and when you actually lock the camera in this position here, in which you can see there's some resistance, the camera wants to come back up, right? So as soon as you use this knob here to lock, it takes just a little bit of a turn, and it feels actually very great when you actually touch this knob. And to unlock the camera, you can just unlock this, the camera goes back up, and to lock it over here, whatever you want to do, it stays in place. And when you actually lock this button here, this camera is not going to go anywhere. But don't expect a $250 tripod or a plate like this type here to control a Arri Alexa or a Red camera. That would be silly for you to actually load such camera here. But for a B-roll camera, you can just lock it down here and forget about it. This tripod also comes included with a very nice padded back, all in black with a little details in red. And it's also got a little zipper on the side to house your handle and your other accessories that come with this tripod here. But it also fits with the handle and the tripod if you don't want to detach this handle here. And it also comes shipped with this little protection thing here. I would actually recommend that you keep it so you can actually provide even more safety and cushion with the tripod when you actually put it back in the bag. And also this little instruction manual with the bag with this little accessories here, including some wrenches here. And the zippers here, they're well made. They're not the super giant heavy duty zippers, but I find it difficult to break unless you're really loud with your things. And also the tripod here, when you put inside, it has plenty of space for the tripod as well. It's not going to be super tight that you have to kind of force the zipper in any way, shape or form. And it also comes with an adjustable strap here, so you can actually carry this way here. This tripod is a fluid head here, both for the pan and tilt, but you don't have any additional controls here. And for $249, I don't think that's going to be possible to actually offer this feature here. I have several fluid heads here and they are a lot more expensive than this, so if they actually had to charge a couple $100 more or $100 more, whatever, I would actually pay for it, because to me it's very important to actually maximize the control of the fluidity here on the pan and tilt, because when I'm doing some very critical shots with the thing zoomed in, the smallest amount of shake here is going to shake the footage. So when you have everything set to the maximum for that super resistance, and then you can actually do some very critical panning and tilting here, especially the diagonal move here. Even though this trapper doesn't have the greatest fluidity in control here, I am actually very experienced. Even with the light control on the fluidity here, I can actually control this camera here perfectly without any jerks or anything like that. All you have to do is to practice a little bit. But again, I wish there was more controls. You can actually dial how much tension or how much resistance do you want with the either pan or the tilting controls here. And like I said, if you want to just pan and tilt, it's very easy to do. What's difficult is to actually match the actual speed when you're actually doing diagonal movements, because if you do a faster panning than a faster tilting and vice versa. Now if you choose a camera that's a lot lighter than this, such as mirrorless cameras, the actual panning and tilting is going to be a lot easier for you, since it is a lighter camera in which the degree of resistance of this fluid heads here, with a lighter camera on board here, is going to be a lot easier to control. The heavier you go with the camera here, the more difficult it becomes to control the trapper from the pan and tilting, especially diagonal moves. And with the heavier load, the problem is going to be even bigger. So again, I really wish I could actually control the amount of dragging here. And that should wrap up this review here. If you want to subscribe to this channel for more contents like this, they're all extremely detailed like this one here. You know what to do, just hit the bell notifications for more contents like this here. And if you have any questions or whatever it is they want to write down there in the comment section, I'll respond to everything that I see there. So thank you again very much for watching my videos, and I'll see you next time.